Hey everybody, Meg Ruler 31 back for FSI DFS. I apologize yesterday. I was talking about McKinley having an early slate. Storms in his area had some technical difficulties and couldn't get it up. So sorry about that. But today I have checked. The early slate is up. So if you're looking for the 3-game slate that starts at 2:10, pause this video, go to our channel, and McKinley has that covered for you. I'm going to cover the 7-game slate tonight for Thursday, July 8th. It's not looking good. You have 7 games. You have the first 2 severe weather concerns, another one with about about a 50% chance of rain, and then you have 4 other games. Not much with pitching and stuff, so it's probably gonna be a quick video and just kind of fly through your options here. So last night was interesting too because I was glad that I kind of avoided the Phillies game there because the Cubs actually came to life and got to their pitcher, who was probably like chalk once the weather looked like it was okay and the game was going to play. But then I got patty caked by Paddock. The Washington football team showed up and scored 15 runs or 5 field goals or 2 touchdowns and a 2-point conversion. But that was just a crazy offensive output that I did not see coming. But anyways, it's another day, and let's look at today's slate. Now, here's the problem. The Blue Jays had them last night, did really well besides Springer, who got me an absolute 0. I probably could have cashed even with my bad pitcher in there had he done anything because the rest of the lineup was absolute fire. And I think I determined the only thing that can stop the Blue Jays is Mother Nature, and that might happen tonight because in Baltimore, it's about a 75% chance of rain. So I don't know if this game plays, which is horrible because the SP2 that would be the most sense is Manoah here. He's having a good season, K upside. DK only priced him at 6.8, whereas FanDuel, he's like up there, like right with the stud pitchers in pricing where you wouldn't even consider playing him. But here, he would be absolute lock button if the weather is okay and this game holds out. So keep that in mind. If the game does look like it's going to play and there's not going to be any interruptions, he's definitely going to be the SP2. The bats against Aiken, sign me up. Not really too interested with the Oriole bats, maybe to be contrarian if the game does play. And Manoah is going to be a chalk pitcher. The next team, you have the Pittsburgh Pirates and the New York Mets. You have T.J. Walker and J.T. Brubaker. I'm okay with either pitcher here. I'd definitely prefer Walker, but Brubaker is definitely a different price. The Mets are back and healthy. They're not striking out as much, but still, I think there might be some opportunities here. I don't really like bats from either side here. And again, this has like a 70% chance of rain. So I don't think this game is going to play either. The next game with the weather concerns is the Kansas City Royals and the Cleveland Indians. You have Danny Duffy and Zach Plesac. Plesac is coming back from the IL. He's probably only going to pitch maybe 3-4 innings, so maybe 50, 60, 65 pitches. So I would not play him at 9K. Duffy on the other side, Cleveland has their struggles with Fermil Reyes back in the lineup. They seem to be a much better option now and starting to come alive again. So as soon as they start to get some pieces back, I think you might see them do better, especially Duffy's not the best pitcher. Royals bats, I think, if you want a GPP, they're fine. Maybe so there's a relatively cheap stack here because Merrifield's only 4-5, and you have like Benintendi, who's back. He's only 3-1. Santana, Perez, if you want to pay up for catcher, O'Hearn, who is a great price at 2.9, has some power there. First base and outfield eligible now, so some places to go there. Cleveland side, Jose Ramirez is definitely the centerpiece here, but Fermil Reyes at only 4K. I mean, he's back. He's got some power. He's hitting some home runs again. I really like the guy in the spot against the lefty, and maybe throw in like Harold Rodriguez or Amir Rosario. So Cleveland, I definitely think, is a worthy stack today. They have a 4.8 run total. Okay, games without major rain concern, but the Cubs have the wind blowing in about 12 miles per hour. You have Zach Eflin and Edbert Eloze pitching. I'm okay with either one of them. You're probably looking at like 15 to 18 DK points from them. It's kind of a similar situation that I've had a couple of times where both pitchers are average, not going to get blown up, not going to get a ton of strikeouts. But this Cubs lineup could be in trouble because they're dealing with more injuries. I think somebody else got hit by a pitch. There's was it Brian? It reactivated his hamstring or something. So the Cubs lineup could be very, very soft. So Eflin could be a good play here at only 7.5. And Alzay on the other side, just besides a couple of the left-handed bats, he's pretty good against right-handers. So I think if the wind is blowing in, I wouldn't really consider any bats in this game, but maybe GPP for if you just want to stack them, but I wouldn't really take any one-offs here. And like I said, both of these pitchers could definitely be in the conversation for tonight. Next game, you have Detroit and Minnesota. You have Scoble and J.A. Happ. Minnesota, if Donaldson's still out and they still put out this like B team lineup, even though they have a 5 total, he's been having an okay season, but he's a lefty and Minnesota usually does pretty well against lefties. So I might be a little bit hesitant there. Maybe, it depends on the lineup, who they throw out there. But we have to see with that. Detroit on the other side, I've been stacking against Happ this season. It's been really good, and Detroit's been actually improving. They have a 4.41 total. I think Detroit might be a stack that I really like tonight. Twins on the other side against Scoble, like I said, some of the righties like Cruz, Jeffers, Polanco, maybe a little bit of a stack there. If they throw like a righty, I don't know if I'd take like Celestino or Simmons maybe for a wraparound. But if somebody else like cracks the lineup, if Snowbat's higher up in the lineup, but let me just check his numbers quickly. He just hasn't seemed to be having a great season. Last couple games, 6 DK points, 12 DK points, 4-3. Hasn't hit a home run, it seems like, in a month. He had like one back on 6/21, and the one before that was like 6/11. So he hits one every 10 days. So maybe he's due, but still not having a huge power season as well recently anyway. So something to consider there. Next game we have is Cincinnati Reds and the Milwaukee Brewers. You have Tyler Mahle and Adrian Hauser. Mahle, I think, is okay. I know the Brewers have been putting together recently. Yelich is back. They did trade with Toronto and get Tellis from them. He's a nice left-handed bat to try to figure out what to do at first base because Herrera and Navis have flashes of brilliance, but just haven't been what they're looking for. So maybe Tellis gets into the lineup and is cheap and really makes a name for himself so he can get some everyday playing time because he's a good player. So, but overall, not too concerned about them. Sorry, allergies are killing me this morning. The Reds and the Brewers are it's a 4 total. It's a pick'em game. So I think both pitchers are in play here. Cincinnati bats, definitely. I'd rather have them in the Great American Small Park instead of on the road. But I think, India's having a solid season leading off like out of nowhere. I think he's was a breath of fresh air. Putting him in that position. We saw in spring training how he did really well, and I'm really glad that it's kind of continued into the season finally. So Winker and Naquin, 3K lefty, Barnhart catching. So there's some options here with Cincinnati bats. Not my favorite because Hauser is an okay pitcher, but I think, there's some place you can go. Final game, the nightcap, 9:10, so it's not too late of a night tonight. You have the Washington Nationals and the San Diego Padres. You have a stud pitching matchup here. You have Max Scherzer and Yu Darvish. I really like both of them. I think, with the weather concerns, if Molly's not an option, that I might go double stud pitcher here. And really not interested in any of these offenses unless I'm stacking to be contrarian. So for roster breakdown, I am going to go. I did take the Darvish and Scherzer route. There's so much floor there. Let's just lock in the absolute points. The only other option I might do is put Molly in place of one of them if I want to try to go up on bats. But if Toronto's not on this slate, I can get pretty much what I want to with bats, even playing up a pitcher. So I'm going to lock in Perez from Cleveland as my catcher. And I'm going to lock in Fermel Reyes also at 4K. I love the matchup there. Then I'm going to go Detroit. I'm going to take Grossman, Haas. I'm going to play him in the outfield, not catcher. Candelario, and I'll pay up for Shoop. And that leaves me about 3K left for second base and shortstop. And there's some decent options in that range that you can fill out. So I think that's the way I'm going to go tonight. Again, pretty ugly slate. If Toronto plays, and definitely Miley's my SP2, I'm going to stack the Toronto bats and probably sprinkle in the cheap Detroit bats to fill in the rest. I think I'll still probably keep Perez as my catcher at 2-3 if he's in, because I think that's a great price, and I like the matchup of righty and lefty against Duffy. And I said, if you need some value in outfield spots, look at O'Hearn at 2.9. And hopefully this is just going to be a slate where we're going to have to pay attention. And it could be one of those funny slates where if the first 3 games are rained out, the slate doesn't start till 8:05. So thanks for watching. MegaRuler31. Leave some comments below. Hit me up on Twitter at MegaRuler31. Please give us a like, subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you next time.